So there was a controversy that happened earlier this month where somebody was very upset at the fact that they tried to commission an artist and the artist had a set of rules and guidelines for the type of art that they will actually create and the type of art that they don't want to draw. And then the whole thing turned into a witch hunt, but the person who originally called out this artist ended up folding, privating their account, trying to make some fake apology. Basically, they tried to imply that this artist was some kind of bigot and then cancel them, and it didn't really work out in their favor. So it all started with this tweet right here. Likes and retweets are deeply appreciated. VGen Neko mission open. For any inquiries regarding VGen, please don't hesitate to DM me. And that's a link to this person's VGen account. And we can see here the profile and some of the arts that she has drawn. I would say a pretty talented artist. She makes some good art. So then this post about Neko opening commissions on VGen would be quote tweeted by this account. This user Richie or Katsukis would make this post saying, "Welp gang, I wouldn't recommend trying to commission if you're a queer person, I guess." Screen capping communications between them and the artist, which say, "Hi, hello, Richie. I was reviewing the waitlist and came across your Yume ship request. I truly apologize for the mistake of adding you before carefully reviewing it. Unfortunately, I won't be able to work on this piece as I don't draw queer couples. Please know it's absolutely nothing against your character or idea. It simply comes from my personal religious belief, and I'm trying to stay faithful to that. I deeply apologize for not clarifying this earlier and for any inconvenience or disappointment this may cause. I'm sincerely grateful for your interest in Neko Mission, and I truly appreciate your understanding. Thank you so much again. I'm really sorry for the oversight." So effectively what happened here is that this artist, Neko, she is a Muslim. So she is a Muslim, and I believe that she lives in Indonesia. That's what people have been saying. So she personally, as a Muslim, doesn't want to draw queer ships. That's just something that she is not comfortable with doing. And obviously this is her art. She's not attacking anybody, and she can choose to draw whatever she wants to draw. I think with her level of proficiency, it's pretty easy for her to find people to get commissions. And obviously she had a queue of commissions before this guy came along telling her to draw a queer ship. And she said no, respectfully even, and sent this guy on his way, and he got really mad and tried to come over to Twitter to cancel her. Richie here would subtweet this saying, "People say I'm attacking them when all I did was share a screenshot of their own words. I don't know what to tell you. Maybe you need to start doing some reflecting instead of feeding your victim complex." Ironic words coming from the person that's playing victim, trying to paint the picture that they're being discriminated against because an artist won't draw your gay ship because they just don't want to. But this person wanted to come on Twitter and post this, pretended to be the victim, acting like they got wronged because the artist would not agree to draw that, and politely and respectfully told him that she's not going to draw that ship. So then in further replies, Richie here would pretend like this wasn't an attempt at getting the artist canceled and attacked. "Can't believe people are attacking you when all you did was post their own words. I think others should know if an artist won't draw queer couples considering they don't disclose that anywhere. They're calling me a dick too, like what did I do? Homophobic artist in 2025. What the hell? I got a crazy whiplash because I surround myself with people like me. I forget there's a possibility for someone to play Genshin and be homophobic. Oh hell nah." And Richie responds with, "Shade, homophobes are jumping me. Look at the quotes." So you make a post with the obvious intention of trying to shame this artist for not drawing your gay ship, and then you head to the replies and try to play victim when people are calling you out and not taking your side in the situation. I'm not gonna lie, the short bus is gonna have to get a little bit longer to carry all the retards that frequent it, like this guy. So of course, as the post by Richie was generating some backlash towards Neko, Neko decided to come out and actually make this post responding to the situation. She says, "Hi everyone, I didn't expect to be awake with a notification or was expecting to, but I truly didn't expect this would blow up. First of all, I'm sorry for the disheartening experience of what happened to the fellow past client who had queer couple characters in their reference. I had just opened a VGen a few days ago and was not aware of how the system worked. It was completely my fault for not checking and understanding how request submissions are done. I wrote an important note saying do and don'ts will be discussed in DMs, since I was used to how other platforms worked, but VGen is different. You have to submit a request first before being able to DM, and this was my fatal mistake. No, I'm not queerphobic. I'm surrounded by many kind queer people, both in real life and online, who have helped shape me into a kinder person, but apparently I choose not to engage in activities related to queer relationships while still being friends with queer people. I take full responsibility for the misunderstanding and will make sure this never happens again. I will update and rebuild my page with clear guidelines and info, and I deeply apologize to those who felt uncomfortable because of my lack of awareness. Thank you to everyone who took the time to point it out. I truly appreciate the chance to learn and grow from this, and I hope we can be peaceful. If you still have any questions, please feel free to ask, and I'll try my best to explain and answer them clearly. And then you had people like this making replies trying to push the idea that this artist is actually a bigot and queerphobic, homophobic, and all that other stuff. And just a quick look at their bio and we can understand why this person doesn't need to be taken seriously. He, they, it, trans flag, pro ships, DNI, a minor as well, 4,400 tweets, go do your homework, and comms closed, nobody was commissioning you, you have 200 followers. It's always these kinds of people, man. It's always them trying to play the victim, trying to act like people hate them because they're just bigots. Well, no, people don't like you because you're insufferable and you do shit like this. You had more of these posters saying, oh, you don't draw gay ships, but you draw fictional demons though, as if that's some kind of gotcha, like, oh, we got her there, what is she gonna say to this? But no, it's not really anything that anybody cares about. People are actually going to still commission this artist, and actually this whole controversy made her more popular. When she was already getting commissions, she actually got more and ended up closing commissions because she's already backlogged too much. So this attempt at cancellation, and that's what it was, despite Richie saying, I didn't say anything, what did I do? It was an attempt at cancellation, it didn't work, the artist became more popular, and you ended up having a lot of people coming to their defense. They'll let people draw whatever they want crowd when an artist draws whatever they want. You did nothing wrong, you don't have to explain anything. The filth will check itself out of your comments when the next thing they are outraged about happens. Sorry for this. You did nothing wrong, I recommend just adding it to your TOS if it isn't already there now. You were very polite and there is nothing wrong with having boundaries, especially when it comes to your religious beliefs. Take care. And another person crying about the fact that they don't take commissions, saying you draw fictional demons using an iShow speed GIF, and I don't have to say anything else about that. Neko would make another post after seeing some growth from the situation, saying it honestly feels a little uncanny how much attention this account and my VGen have been getting after. I just wanted to remind everyone that this is my art account and comfortable space for me. Please also know that I do not justify or support any form of queer phobia, though at some point people have labeled me as one. I truly hope that everyone new here will also continue to keep this space kind and respectful. Well, as it turns out, that sentiment is not accepted by the community of peace and love, and the replies are still attacking her and accusing her of being homophobic. I'm really sorry, but you cannot say that when your excuse is your religious beliefs. You are not accepting queer people in their relationships. You are tolerating it. Tolerance, is different than acceptance. Using your religion as a shield is inherently queer-phobic. What is it with these people and just making up words where they take a word and then they add phobic at the end of it and try to pretend like it's a real problem? Another reply saying, so drawing demons is okay, but drawing queer people isn't because of your religion, and an iShow speed GIF once again. And I gotta tell you, it's really funny because I feel like we were just having conversations recently when an artist was getting cooked for commission prices being too high about how art is a luxury. It's not something you need, and you're not being oppressed if you can't commission art from a specific artist. Yet these people are all triggered and they're all trying to cancel this artist because she won't draw a queer ship. Because of her own boundaries, her own religious beliefs, she doesn't want to draw something, and any of these people can go to another artist that will draw that stuff. But they're not trying to find an artist that will draw that stuff for them that they want drawn. They're trying to cancel this artist for not wanting to draw that stuff, because that's what it's about. It's about trying to force people who do not agree with the stuff that they believe in to comply. They don't want to find an artist that'll draw their queer ship. They want to bring this one down and destroy her for not drawing queer ships so that they can force her to bend the knee to them. And to wrap up this situation, Neko made this post on November the 9th, which says, hello everyone, I'm sorry for leaving this account without updates for the past few days. During that time, I spent a lot of it reading, observing, and trying to understand various perspectives shared by different people. I kept the replies open because I believe everyone has their own view and there's nothing wrong with sharing them respectfully. Among the many messages I received, I wanted to express my deepest gratitude to those who offer their support and kindness. Regarding the main issue, I will continue to stand by my decision and have since updated my VGen terms of service. Moving forward, I'll make sure to be more mindful and do thorough research before making any decisions. I also want to thank those who showed concern for my well-being. Some people mentioned that I might have violated VGen's terms of service, so I personally reached out to the VGen team through email to clarify and apologize for bringing their platform's name into this matter. The VGen team kindly responded, confirming that I'm allowed to decline client requests based on my personal boundaries and that it didn't violate VGen's terms of service. I'm still active on VGen and will continue taking commissions, this time with clearer preparation, awareness, and professionalism. And while this is social media, I truly hope everyone can be more mindful and take the time to verify information before making statements about things that haven't been confirmed. There have been various forms of misinformation spreading about me, which unfortunately shift the focus away from the main issue, one of it being me having drawn porn or NSFW. I don't hold any resentment towards those who misunderstood or spoke out of confusion. I understand how quickly things can escalate online. At the end of the day, I only wish for a healthy and respectful environment where both artists and clients can communicate openly without fear of misinterpretation. I'll keep striving to create art and build connections that reflect kindness and respect for everyone involved. I'd also like to sincerely apologize regarding my recent WhatsApp status. No, I do not wish anyone to ever hurt themselves. The caption I wrote was, "I've had several moots saying this to me too. I hope anyone that jumped on me by sending death threats won't do the same thing to anyone else. It was reckless on my part to upload it, and I understand how it could have been interpreted differently. It was never my intention to cause harm or distress to anyone, and I'm genuinely sorry for the hurt or confusion it may have caused. I only wanted to express my hope that no one else experiences what I did, and that we all learn to treat each other with more understanding and respect. However, I realize now that my way of expressing it was inappropriate and unprofessional, and I take full responsibility for that mistake. I hope this can serve as a reminder both to myself and others to be more mindful about what we share publicly, especially when emotions are high. Everyone deserves kindness and respect, even in disagreement. Thank you to those who have spoken to me and helped me reflect on this matter. Your words have encouraged me to grow and become a more considerate person. I hope this will be the end of the discussion. Moving onwards, I will always keep my head high to respect every religion, sexuality, and race. I also want to make it clear that I hold no hatred or discrimination toward queer people. I truly respect everyone for who they are. With all due respect, I wish for everyone to not continue the conflict between queer and non-queer individuals that stems from my case. I truly hope this can be a moment for reflection and understanding, not division. And that's got to be one of the most well-written posts that I've seen in any kind of drama situation. This artist is clearly a very well-tempered individual, and she's stuck by her own beliefs, and she's not going to draw queer ships, no matter how many people try to cancel her for it, which was always the attempt from the beginning, to bring her down, throw her in the mud, and try to make her bend the knee. If you're not going to draw queer ships, then we're going to get you canceled, and you're not going to get commissions anymore. And you can tell by all the seething that that was their intention. They were hoping that she would lose work. They were hoping that she would get kicked off of VGen, and that is not what happened. VGen defended her position that she's allowed to have her own boundaries and set her own terms of service for the type of work that she's willing to take, and she went from having apparently around 1,000 followers to having now over 16,000 followers. It's cool to see situations get resolved like this, and it also proves that these people from the LGBT community trying to bully others into bending the knee to their ideology are not really seeing that work out for them. All of this stemmed from one artist respectfully telling somebody on VGen that they weren't going to draw their queer ship, and they didn't even collect money from that person, which means there was no process of refunding anything or any of that. Like, they literally didn't even collect the money. They just said before they started on any work that they were not going to do it. That person tried to turn this nothing burger into a hate campaign against the artist, and it really did not work out, as the artist just ended up becoming more popular, getting more commissions, and all the clowns that were hating on her gained absolutely nothing from it. It seems like people like this are starting to realize that their cancel culture strategies are no longer effective. And best of luck to the artist. I agree that this entire thing was a learning experience, and now a lot of people understand that they're going to have to read the terms of service of an artist because they can't assume that they're going to draw whatever they want them to.